What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nisi coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. I wanted to do a free FLP for DJ Mustard. All right, so if y'all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe today. Talking about a couple plugins that I would use to obtain that DJ Mustard sound. You know, DJ Mustard, he's a great legendary producer. He's got hits all across R&B, rap, new and old, with different artists, and I just wanted to break down his really dope, hard-hitting West Coast sound. So we got a free FLP, and if you guys do want it, you know, check the link down below. So first thing about with you know, a guy like you know, DJ Mustard, you know, he got so many hit beats like I'm Different, I'm Different, and then he got the you know, all the new Kendrick Lamar stuff that he been doing too is great. So this is more like the Kendrick Lamar stuff that he been going on about. So yeah, I would use something like a Fairchild 670 on like a 808. I noticed that Leslie Braitworth does that too, and a great thing about you know, DJ Mustard, that his beats always have this nice shine to it. Even the low end just has like a nice great shine and bounce to it. So that's why I would use something like a Fairchild, because I know that tube is going to saturate that low end of that 808 and just make it have that nice dense upper harmonic, is what I kind of get from the sound of, you know, DJ Mustard. You know, especially when you hear a song like TV Off and stuff like that, you know, the bass is, it has a nice plumpness to it. So I would use something like a Fairchild to get that sound. When it comes to sub bass, I like using something like a BX sub filter. I noticed that like his basses are always like quick and punchy, so I like using something like BX sub filter, which is kind of like the Voice of God Little Labs, that just does that nice resonant bump that just, you know, really helps the bass gain even more presence and solidity and density in the low end. You feel me? Type shit like that. So it's like when you put air in your tires, so the bottom part is, you know, is full and solid, and because it's full and solid, it lets the car, you know, stand firm on the ground. So that's kind of like the bass and the sub bass, you know, of DJ Mustard beats. It's just like this really super solid low end foundation. So yeah, even when it comes to the kick, I would use that BX sub filter. I like this plugin right here because it's free and you get to play around with the low end and the tight punch, and you get these 3 different types of resonances. So I feel like it's a little bit more intuitive than the regular Voice of God Little Labs, which is more simpler and straight up. But then a clipper, I love using something like standard clip on kicks, and mostly just for the soft clip saturator, you know, just adding more energy to that mid range, adding more seasoning, adding more hot sauce to that mid range plate of chicken wings, you know, that we're cooking up with when it comes to mixing a DJ Mustard type beat. When it comes to clipping a kick, I would recommend clipping no more than about a dB or 2, because the more you clip your kick, the more you're adding more density, or you're adding more squashy digital distortion to the mid range. And you know, it could start to pile up because you might have a clip on your master fader too. I know some people double clip, and sometimes the music can lose that cleanness. You feel me? You want it to sound dirty but still clean at the same time. And DJ Mustard always has that great soul inside of his beat. So I would just ever so slightly clip the kick about a dB or 2, possibly pushing the soft clip saturator, and it would just sound great. You know, that's how I would approach DJ Mustard. I like that one song he got with Roddy Ricch. When I'm balling, and I do that broke these niggas hauling. I'm gonna have that a hoop and a day back. That you know, type stuff. He got so many hits that I can only remember it based off the melody, which is a good thing too, you know. So yeah, then after that, his snares though, I would use something like the MEQ5. I think you guys are not, you know, sleeping. You're not using this plugin enough. You're sleeping on it, because this is a great tool EQ that lets you dial in that mid range. It's a brother or the sister of a pull tech, and I just love how this one you get to just go between like the peak and the dip, and like you can really make a snare crack. Like you could really make a snare really crack in the mid range, like, you know, like soup, like crack, like a hot oil on the pan, grease. You feel me? Deep fryer type stuff like that. Pop. You can really get a snare just crackle using this plugin, and it just dialing in that mid range, dipping out maybe a boxy frequency that you hear. Like I like to start up on the plugin like this. I peak some shit. You know, I peak some shit. I hear where the nastiness is at, and then I go to dip, right, because it's got the same frequencies, and I'll pull it out, and then I'll just peak some other shit about a dB or 2, and just really sculpt the mid range of a kick to just hit the right way. When it comes to DJ Mustard's hi hats, I notice his hi hats on especially a lot of the GNX stuff. is like super smooth. You know, the hi-hats are never piercing. They're just these like little rhythmic pieces of trick or treat Halloween candy. And I think that a part of that is like using something like Soothe, you feel me? And you know, putting the sharpness to a good amount to where it just ever so slightly cuts in between those harsh frequencies of the hi-hat, you know. So I think that's another great way to obtain that dope West Coast DJ Mustard sound, is using something like Soothe on the hi-hat. So it's like you take the harshness out of the hi-hats, you want more of the hi-hats, you want more of that good flavor that the hi-hats are giving you, all right? So let's move on to you know, the drums. So for the drums, I would honestly just turn off the threshold on the Fairchild 670 and I would just let it run through. Just using it as a saturator, allowing that transformer to beef up the kick and the bass and all the other drum things, and ever so slightly provide a little bit of gloss and sheen in the top end with the tubes in it. So sometimes it's all about understanding the density areas of a compressor. You know, you don't even have to actually compress. You can just let it run through and get that juice itself, you know. Or maybe I would use something like a Neve 1073 and just not do no EQ and just let that bit sit there and juice up everything. In terms of something like the piano, I would use the Fairchild 672, you know. But yeah, when it comes to like the pads, I think that LA3As are great just to get like, you know, solidity. They have transformers in them. And you know, sometimes pads can wiggle around like a worm in the dirt, or like a mole or a groundhog. They can just wiggle around in the dirt and stuff like that and feel a little bit loose, you know. So that's why it's great to use something like a LA3A and maybe compress by, you know, maybe like 1 to 3 dBs, and make sure that it's constantly compressing. So, you know, it's constantly being that annoying school teacher and just holding the badass, you know, student, which is the pad, you feel me? Just holding it in place type shit like that, or a bodyguard or something like that. Just hold it in place, you know, type of situation. It's pretty much serving like a tripod, you know, to hold a camera. It's holding an LA3A. So yeah, using some slow release compression or moderately slow is a great way to add solidity to something like pads and synths. All right. And then we have this H3000 factory. I think it would be great on synths, you know, a lot of the doubler and the widening stuff like the H910, like the H3000. Where is it? Where is it? You guys know what it is. The little micro shift, the micro shift, micro shift. Yeah, but you also have like the micro shift. Where is it? Where is it? Man, y'all know what I'm talking about. Micro shift, bruh. You know, it's probably here somewhere. Oh, pitch shifting, there we go. There we go. Yeah, micro shift. You could just go over there and you play around with dual 910 micro shift and just adding a little bit of those doubling things. You can use it as a widener. It's better than some like S1 stereo imager though, because sometimes that plays around with phase and you lose density, versus where these are just using short delays to give perceived stereo width in space. Okay, so I like using those too. In terms of the music bus, DJ Mustard samples always have great texture, so I'll use some like RC20 to add noise and wobble and all these different types of artifacts that will help, you know, the, you know, sampled or whatever stuff coming in from Contact or Nexus to sound more real and just more human and a little bit more non-linear, and have those mistakes that make it feel a little bit more emotionally attractive. You know, they not like us. You know, it has a great texture to it. It has a great feeling to it. Squabble Up, I don't know if he produced that. TV Off, you know, a lot of the great good stuff he's producing, a lot of the good work that he's doing right now. You know, I just love the rich tone of the samples, but also the hard hitting nature of the drums. All right, and the cleanness of the drums. It gives good contrast. All right. So then for the just the lead vocal, we just use that on something like a Shep 73. For West Coast vocals, you always want that warm, mild avocado sauce type of flavor. So something that's just mild, not spicy. You know, pico de gallo, you feel me? Not salsa verde. So you know, Shep 73, we find ourselves in a situation just, you know, ever so just doing some basic EQ moves and shit like that. Tube Tech CL1B just to get that gushy, squishy type of sound that it kind of produces, because it's an optical compressor, a regular de-esser Pro MB, SSL G channel strip. I like using that for more West Coast stuff because I know Dr. Dre used SSLG console, and that SSLG tone is just signature with Tupac and West Coast music in general. SSLG, that gritty black Air Force type of energy, you know, just that street apparel, you feel me? Sagging, no belt. All right, Arvox, you know, and the Valhalla delay and reverb. So that's pretty much the end of the video here today. You guys, would you like to grab this preset? We'll check it out in the link down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you now, my YouTube gang. Suggest more artists that I should do free presets for like this and give away. Appreciate y'all. Peace.